Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Dear my students, grade 8, welcome back again. We are going to go on and study together Unit 11 for the second term. In this unit, inshallah, we are going to study new things together. We are going to speak about intelligence and creativity. Intelligence and creativity. Before we start here, we have a question. This question says what? What is creativity? How to be creative? Try to think of the answer of this question. How to be creative? Okay? Does it mean to redo things again? Or does it mean you are going to produce new things? Okay? How to be creative? How to be creative? When I come here to creativity, we can define it as like it is the ability to use imagination. You are going to use your imagination to produce new ideas or make things. Okay, so this is the meaning of what here creativity. So creativity is the ability to use imagination to produce new ideas here. Okay, new ideas or make what here things like these pictures. How to be creative? If I'm going to ask you this question, how can you be creative? Think of some ways to be creative. Okay? Use your imagination. There is always another way. Like you don't have to copy things again. Okay? There is always another way to get where you are going. Like if you look at this picture, look at this one. Be creative and find a way to get out of here. Let's go together to page 82 in our student's book. We are going to speak about discoveries and inventions here. Okay? Before we start reading here we have 3 pictures. Look at them. I'd like you to think of what you can do with these objects other than their intended purpose. If you look at this one here, the first one, we have pencils, okay? And here we have, yes, a plastic bottle. And here we have an empty box for shoes. Okay, their intended purpose here, the pencils, we use them to write with. And the bottle here, we use it to fill, yes, water, to put water inside it. And here we can put our shoes inside. But I'd like you to think of some things that we can do with these objects other than their intended purpose. Okay, think, what can we use pencils to do? And also the plastic bottle here, and also the shoes box here. Think of this one, and after that, pause the video, come back to discuss the points with me. Okay, here we have the 3 things again. We have the pencils, as we have said here, empty plastic bottle, shoes, cardboard box. Shoes, cardboard box. So these are the 3 things that I'd like you to think what we can do with them other than their intended purpose. Like if you look at this one, as we have said before, we can use pencils for writing or drawing. And you can design dresses or beautiful shapes out of pencil shaving, like this one. Okay? You can use pencils for decoration. Okay? It's a creative idea. So this is not the intended purpose. What about the bottle? Try to be creative here. We can use the empty plastic bottle in a wonderful way, like these shapes. Can you see here? Like this one. What about here, the empty box? The empty cardboard box. We can use it to put clothes in. We can make many things using it. This one is before and this one is after the decoration. So we have used these things in a wonderful way and creative way. So the intended purpose of a pencil is to write or draw, as we know. Intended. So this is the first word that we have today. When I say intended means purposed, expected, designed, or planned. So this is the meaning of what here intended. Intended means what here? Purposed, expected, designed, or planned. The next word that we have is called original. Original. Like when I read this example, creativity is using your imagination to create something original. Original. When I want to define the word original, it means existing since the beginning. Existing since the beginning means not new. It means what here? Original. Original. Next one. Walt Disney is creative. Creative. His drawings are dramatic. Okay, so we have two words here. The first one, creative, and the second one, dramatic. When I come to the word dramatic, it means great and sudden, connected with acting or plays. Dramatic. Like, do you like watching drama? So this is called what here? Dramatic. The man has a dramatic idea to have some peace and make his wife silent. Dramatic idea. Dramatic idea. You see? Okay? He wants to make his wife silent. So here he has a dramatic idea. Like he has used his seat belt, like not to like fasten the seat belt, but he has used it to make, yes, his wife silent. Creative idea here, or dramatic idea. If you combine two or more different things, they begin to exist or work together. So the verb that we have here, combine. Combine the same like mix. Combine. When we combine two things together, it's going to be what here? You are going to mix them together. Like here, if you are going to combine computer and network, you are going to have what? Internet. So this is what here? Combine. Next one, involves, comes from the verb involve. So this work involves many meetings and discussions. Involves. So the word that we have is called what here? Involves. When I want to speak about involve, it means to make necessary. When we want to make something necessary, so we involve it, or when it is necessary, so we involve it in our things. Involve. In the past, surgical operations involved cutting the patient. Involved. So the word that we have here, what? Involved. Nowadays, many surgical operations involve many tiny machines. Involve. So they have tiny machines. So it is necessary. Involve. Next one, the word approach. Like focusing on solutions rather than problems is a great approach. So the word that we have is called approach. Approach, the same like method or way. When I say approach, it means a way of doing something. Like what is your approach of doing this thing? Approach, it means what's your way. Okay? Approach. What's your approach of thinking? Okay, you have to think out of the box here. Thinking. Okay? It's a creative approach to take the old cars away for recycling. It means it's a creative way. What could happen if we take all the road signs away? Take away, okay? What could happen if we take all the road signs away? Do you think it's a dramatic idea to take all the road signs away to solve the traffic jam? So take away. Next one. Most city planners slow traffic down with speed restrictions and signs. So the word here we have restrictions. Restrictions. Like you can't exceed the speed limit if you look at this picture. Okay, you have 40 kilometers like at most here. So this is a restriction here. You have to slow down. Restriction. Restriction. Okay, comes from the verb restrict. So this is the speed limit here. You are going to find some signs on the highway, like here, 120 kilometers per hour. This is a maximum. So this is a restriction. If you are going to exceed it, you will be fined. You are going to pay a fine. So this is a speed limit restriction. Like it's a line that you cannot exceed. Okay, an official limit on something. So this is called what here? Restriction. So this is the limit here. Let's revise the new vocabulary together. The first one, as we have said, intended, intended, original, original, dramatic, dramatic, combine, combine, involve, involve, approach, approach, restriction, restriction. Now let's move. Creativity is using your imagination to create something original. Everyone is creative, but some people act on their ideas and others don't, okay? There are many ways of being creative, and creativity can help us solve many different problems. Let's go together here, reading time. But before we read here, we have an exercise. Let's come back again here. Here, I'd like you to read the text, then fill in the table below. If you look at your book here, this page, you're going to find an exercise, exercise number 2 here. We have here the type of a creativity and the example here, and you're going to give your own example. If you look here, we have 5 types of creativity, and each one has an example, and here you are going to write your own example. You are going to get it from the previous page, page 82. Let's come back again to this page, this one. If you look here, we have 5 types of creativity. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you look here, the first one here, that's right, the evolution of ideas. The second one here, putting ideas together. The third one, changing how we do things. Next one, finding a new use for things. Last one, changing approach. So here we have 5 types of creativity. You have to skim this one and tell me, yeah, that's right, I'd like you to tell me the example of creativity. And after that, you are going to write your own example, okay? Take your time, try to skim this one fast, and we are going to read the whole text together after that. Let's go again to this exercise. You can pause the video and write them in your notebook, okay? And after that, we are going to check them together. Okay, so this is the exercise that we have. Take your time. Take about 3 minutes and come back again. Pause the video and after 3 minutes, come back again. Okay, let's check the answers here. Number 1 here, what is the type of creativity? It's written, okay, evolution of ideas. If you come back again, let's go back again here, the previous slide. Here, the evolution of ideas, okay? You take it from here. And you're going to write the example from here. He says what here? A car designer uses changes made by designers in the past. If you look at this one, you are going to find it written, yes, in the first paragraph. Like here, car development is an example of this. If a car designer creates a more comfortable car, he builds on many changes made by designers in the past. So this is the example here. And after that, I'd like you to write your own example. Let's go on and find the next answers. So this is a type of creativity, evolution of ideas, and we have said the example. What about your own example? What have you written? Okay, here we can speak about mobile phones, evolution of ideas, something which is new, evolution of the new phone. The next type of creativity, it's written as well here, putting ideas together, putting ideas together. So what is the example that you have got from the reading text? That's right, very good. Combining a computer and a network to get what? Internet. So we use combination here, putting ideas together. When you put two things or more together, so you combine them. What about your own example? What have you thought about? Okay, let's see this answer. Combining a baby stroller and a scooter. You see, he combines them together and he puts things together to get a new thing. Let's move to the next one. Type of creativity. What about the third one, the third paragraph? Okay, changing how we do things. We speak here about changing how we do things. Okay, what is the example that we have here? Here we have, if you look at the pictures here, because it's like we are going to write many things here, the example like surgical operations involved cutting into the patient, but now we are going to speak about something which is new now. Doctors can send a small tube with a camera into a person's body, okay? Changing how we do things from the past and nowadays. What about your own example here? Can you see this one? The invention of the wheels, like the wheels or the tires of the cars, like it was like this in the past and it has evolved, okay? Changing how we do things. Paragraph number 4, the type of creativity, and it's written, if you go back, you're going to find what here? Finding a new use for things. Like the example that we have said, plastic for making balls used for photographic film. You're going to find a new use, not the ordinary or the intended purpose. Here, the example that we have here, new one, changing how we use wheels. Some people use it for decoration. Okay, so here, new use for things. Let's move to the last one. The type of creativity here, changing approach, changing the way. What is the example that you have got from the reading paragraph? Okay, if you take all the road signs away, cars go slower. So this is a new way, changing approach here. What about your own example? What have you written? Okay, compare this one with your answer. Canceling homework. I think you like this one. Not all students like this one. Okay. Now, reading time. Let's read together. Stop everything and try to read with me. The first paragraph here, the evolution of ideas. Creativity is not only about dramatic new ideas, it is also about making gradual improvements to existing ideas. Car development is an example of this. If a car designer creates a more comfortable car, he builds on many changes made by designers in the past. Putting ideas together. Two or more ideas can be combined to create a new idea. If you join the ideas of a computer and a network, you get the internet. Changing how we do things. Sometimes new ideas bring about a change in how we do things. In the past, all surgical operations involved cutting into the patient. But now doctors can send a small tube with a camera into a person's body and treat the patient from the inside. Finding a new use for things. Creativity doesn't always involve inventing something new. If you look at something that exists, you can often think of another use for it. Some of the best scientific developments have come this way. In the 19th century, plastic was developed for making balls. In 1889, a man discovered that you could use it for photographic film. The last one, changing approach. Changing approach. When we try to solve a problem, we often use one way to approach it, which may not work. If you change your approach, you can sometimes find a different solution. For example, most city planners slow traffic down with speed restrictions and signs. But one planner proved that if you take all the signs away, cars go slower. This is because drivers have to be more careful. Now let's move to after reading here. What is the purpose of the text here? The writer. Why has the writer written this text? I'd like you to think. We speak about what? That's right. I hear some students say this one. We speak about creativity. So here we have to create the things. That's right. We have to think in a new way. Okay. So this is the purpose of what of the text. And if you have more ideas, you can write them down in the comments. Before we finish here, there are many ways of being creative. Mention them. How can we be creative? Okay, here we have some ideas. Evolution of ideas, the first one. Second one, putting ideas together, the thing that we have said. Changing how we do things. Finding a new use for things. And changing approach. Okay, so these are the ways of being creative. Thank you and see you inshallah in the next videos.